How do you gain respect in this industry of filmmaking and photography?
I think it's a little bit of like, you got to have a few things under your belt at like achievement wise first, because, you know, it's like, hey, Michael, yeah, he just worked with Drake. Like immediately I'm going to take you seriously because of that. So as much as I'm not trying to promote that, that's why I was like trying to figure out how to say it. You got to have a certain amount of like selling points to get that level of respect. Like it's just the way it is. Like if I said like, hey, this person, I want you to meet Michael. He just worked the weekend and Drake and blah, blah, blah. They're like going to have respect for you like immediately. It's just a fact. So that's the truth of the matter. And then there's the other side of the matter, which is you get respect based on how you work with people. I have a really good reputation, I believe, with like being a good person on set and like not being an asshole and taking people's opinions and making sure everyone's eating and like, you know, that things are respectful and whatnot. But yeah, part of it's the way you work and the other part of it's like what you do. Yeah.
It's hard because there's no really definition to it.
Yeah.
That's why I just blatantly asked like a broad question, because everyone has a different perspective of how to gain respect, whether that's doing something for like a big name artist, right? Like in order for you to get Fashion Santa on the shoot, you needed to have some sort of portfolio. Was that done through your agencies?
Yeah, I met his name is Paul Mason, Fashion Santa. I met Paul on a job like years and years ago before he was doing that. And I was very, very like opinionated about the way I was shooting at the time. So I think maybe I gained his respect because he was like, that young kid is pretty confident in what he's doing. That's interesting. And then we did a creative together and that did really well. And it just happened to flow that we had a good vibe working together. But he's been around like so many important artists and brands like around the world.
Yeah.
So I know that if I can give him clear direction, that I'll get the respect back too, because he's not judging me off of like, oh, like you're not at this level or that level. It just comes down to how you can direct somebody. So I have a certain style of how I like to pull, you know, body language out of people or get them to move on set. And it just ended up working really well.
When they hire you, especially now, it's like they don't know what to expect. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't know whether it's like it's going to be an amazing product or not. So you have already that pressure of like, if this is not good, I don't know what's going to happen with me. Like what my reputation.
That becomes the norm after a while too. Like you just get to a point where like you become comfortable in that pressure.
Yeah.
And that really just allows you to like, I don't know. I think once you can get past that, it's like being on camera. Like if the camera's on you and you feel like you're on camera, you're like all weird and like whatever. But then once you get past that completely, you just learn that you're being yourself, and you're probably going to learn something about yourself too watching it back. But
that's a good analogy.
So that pressure for me, I'll relate it to like being on camera. Once you get that comfort level, you know how to speak that language, you know how to act a certain way, and you know how to deal with it. And you know, there's people that are going to be intimidating, and there's people that are going to be like ferocious and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like whatever you did to get you in this room, keep doing that, because that's why
Facts,
you're here.
Yeah. So, like that's there's a reason why you're filming.
If someone's going to flex on you and you're in the same room as them, it's like, but I'm in the same room as you. Like I did something too to be here. So you can't minimize or decredit or devalue what part of my journey I'm on just because you're farther than me. Like you're gonna get to the end before I do. So
yeah, bro. Yeah. I like that.
I can't even give you a number like of the quantity of times that I've been like, you know, taking advantage of on a project, or like wasted my own time, or people that I had work on the project for free because like they rate my work, so they're working for free to get something for them, but then it's a terrible feeling. So it comes with it's part of the journey, but you get a little bit more control of it. You can see things before they happen. And you do your best to not allow it to happen. But if I'm going to sit here and say, oh, I'm never going to get, you know, screwed over again, I'd be lying. Like it's going to happen.
Yeah. And I think that's what people like when they chase it. Like me, every time I do another podcast, the amount of times I'm like, hey, this is not going to happen. you guys don't know it, but the amount of times we stopped and the battery and the lights and the ISO and the exposure and the focus, like there's so much more things that like shit's gonna fuck up, right? And things are gonna mess up, and that could go through like one day when I'm maybe your age or, you know, my dad's age. Who knows where I'm going to be, right? Who knows if I'm going to be in Hollywood? Who knows if I'm going to be the biggest artist in Canada? Who knows if I'm just going to be living in a basement as a freelancer, right?
Yeah.
And the only thing that I put in my head is, you know, like, yeah, I am going to win that Oscar. Even if I don't, I just want that to
Listen,
reach
there's
there,
an
right?
amazing quote. Winning isn't everything, but wanting to is. And that just comes down to...
like that.
The attitude that you have, like have the attitude of a winner and take yourself seriously, but whether or not you get an Oscar doesn't at all credit how good your work is.
And that's what I keep trying to remind myself every day.
It don't matter